Good morning, everyone. Samantha Kennedy with Mainsail Financial Group. This morning, I figured we would spend a little bit of time learning how we might be able to make stress our friend rather than an enemy. Just to show where credit is due, the next slides will be from a TED Talk presented by Kelly McGonigal. Oh, is that like Harry Potter, Professor McGonagall? Perhaps. I'll have to look that up. Anyways, the link is down here and I'll include that in the chat box a little bit later. Okay, so throughout her TED Talk, and I think she is a psychiatrist, she shared a study that sort of proved, or when we observed it, that the way one thinks about stress matters way more than the amount of stress you're undergoing. And so that was very powerful because I have been trying to minimize stress that's in my life and have woefully failed a lot of the times. So it's something where if I'm able to turn that stress to be a positive part of my life, that was very encouraging. So during the stress study, what the participants went through was giving a presentation with bright lights and a camera, everyone's favorite topic, math. They would get to take a math test while someone was making discouraging comments, such as, you made a mistake, you're not going fast enough, why didn't you get that right? Which is very encouraging when you're trying to do a test. And so what they discovered is if the participants during that time just viewed stress and viewed it as a bad thing, their blood pressure went up. I'm going to butcher the science part, but something with your heart capillaries or something of that sort would get very big, which apparently is bad. So highly recommend you actually watch the TED Talk. It'll be much more scientific than my lovely description a couple moments ago. Something that I learned in the TED Talk was about oxytocin. And so this is a stress hormone. What she shared was this hormone actually makes you social. And so it fine tunes our brain's social instincts. It helps us to sort of be in a mindset where we crave physical contact. It increases our empathy and really just the support that we want to provide, but also need. And so when this is released, what happens is it's motivating to seek support. So whether that's you providing support to someone else or you asking someone else to support you. The biological response is it's telling you to share with someone how you are feeling rather than handle it alone. So this is something where I think social media has some great strengths. We're able to keep in touch with people that we wouldn't do otherwise. But one of the downsides is we only see the positives in people's lives. And so I think it's a little bit of a skewed perception. I don't know anyone right now who isn't seriously struggling with something severe. And so when you feel like you're struggling, rather than sort of being isolated and saying, oh man, I can handle this all alone and I can just fight it, reach out to other people. The stress response wants you to be surrounded by people who care about you. This is why I love our Tuesday mornings. I feel like I know all of you at an intimate level. I care about you and you are all a safe place for me. So just thank you for that. And then on a more biological or sort of physical part, it actually helps your heart cells repair from damage and strengthens your heart. So that's sort of some of the benefits to oxytocin. Encouraging observations from the study is participants were able to view stress as a positive. So sometimes when people have chronic stress or chronic pain, that can be connected with cardiovascular disease, which is a bummer. We want to avoid that if we can. And when they viewed stress as a positive, the participants were actually able to keep their heart rates at a reasonable level and they were able to be comfortable even though they were under pressure. So what this TED Talk encourages us to do is rather than trying to get rid of stress, we want to learn how to handle it better. So when your heart is pounding or when you feel like you are under a bright light, rather than panicking or thinking, oh my goodness, I have to do everything perfectly, if you can do a minor sort of shift in your brain and just realize that this is your body rising to a challenge, that small tweak can actually have a major impact in how you respond to stress. And so the conclusions of this TED Talk is if you are stressed out, please seek support from others. More often than not, other people want to support you. The reciprocality of this piece is when you see others struggling, please try to support them. It can be something where you make their day better, but more often than not, you feel better also. Human connection can be a fantastic solution to negative side effects of stress. And I think we've all learned that through this lovely year and a half of COVID. And finally, the major takeaway was help those in your community and care for others. So the true solution is caring creates resilience to stress and some of the negative side effects. And if you are able to encourage or really convince your brain to say, stress is a way of my body saying I'm ready to tackle whatever's ahead, you can actually have quite a few benefits. So with that being said, thank you so much for joining me with this morning's Tuesday tip.